Hey BookTube, Chelsea the Learning Outlaw here to do a really quick end of fall haul. That rhymes. But I am one of those people who gets hit by seasonal affective disorder pretty bad. And while we haven't gotten there yet, I'm still reveling in all of the fall things. I love when the seasons actually start to turn. It's just once we hit into winter, my depression likes to pop up and say hello and hang out 4 months at a time. So to kind of head that off, I engage in one of my absolute favorite serotonin releasing pastimes, book shopping. I got just a little haul. The first one is The Sun and Her Flowers by Rupi Kaur. This is the second collection out by Rupi Kaur, who is kind of famous as I guess an Instagram poet is what they're officially called, but that always sounds so demeaning and derogatory to me, and for some reason, and maybe it's because we equate social media with femininity and a lesser status, but that's a different conversation for a different time. This is a stunning, stunning poetry collection that features the work of Rupi Kaur. It features her sketches, her poems. She usually writes fairly short poems, usually in a prose poemy style, but they're really, really great. They're about relationships to self, relationships to others, sex. This book goes through many sections on kind of the steps of going through a relationship process and through a journey with that. I really, really love The Sun and Her Flowers. I really, really love Rupi Kaur. I'm so glad to finally own a physical copy of this book. I cannot wait to go through and mark it up. These next ones I'm going to do in little chunks. This is kind of going to be a shorter haul because I didn't buy a ton of stuff. But basically I am out of the stage where I'm going through a collective library construction process, and I'm going into a curative library construction process, which is a fancy way of saying I'm buying more books, but I'm trying to buy books that I've already read before and I know that I love, so that my bookshelves are a reflection of my actual favorite tastes and not just things that I've randomly picked up, which is fine and is cool, and I still do, especially to feel color gaps on my rainbow bookshelves. But yeah, this is kind of in pursuit of that process. So I picked up the 3 Anna Marie Macklemore books that are out in paperback. The next, Roja y Blanca, I don't think is out in paperback yet, and I think that's all that she has, are those 4. But I got When the Moon Was Ours, which is stunning. I don't love this cover as much as I love the original, which is the kids going in and out of the lighthouse with stars behind them and stuff. It's really, really beautiful, although this is a nice cover too. And then I got The Weight of Feathers. And then last but not least, I got Wild Beauty. I have read all of these in digital copy, but I did not have them in physical form. When the Moon Was Ours tells the story of a trans boy who falls in love with a Latinx girl who has roses that grow from her wrist. It's a story of unrequited love, missed love, protecting the people that you love, and learning how to be proud of the things that make you different. The Weight of Feathers is about 2 kind of dueling families, the Palomas and the Corbeaus. They are dueling performance act families. The Palomas swim in lagoons as mermaid, and the Corbeaus walk on tight wires with wings up in the trees like angels. And these 2 families have long competed for kind of space in various small towns along their performing act. And it's the story of what happens when one Paloma girl falls in love with one Corbeau boy, and their families find out, and they have to find a way to reconcile that. It is a story of curses and family legacy and belonging and love, and I just love it a lot. This is actually the first Anna Marie Macklemore book that I ever read, and as such, it will always have a very special place in my heart. And then lastly, I picked up Wild Beauty. This cover, I just can't. It is so, so stunning to me. I'm trying to get it out of the glare as much as possible. This is the story of the Nomovides women who, for generations, have brought death and destruction to any person that they fall in love with. It's about the one girl who all 5 sisters fall in love with, and the one boy that they somehow resurrect who steals their hearts. It's a story of, again, family, land, belonging, the difference between creating and creation, myth, legend. It's queer, it's hopeful, it's inspiring, it's surprising. I loved this book so, so, so much, and I'm so glad to finally have it, especially because that cover is so gorgeous. And then these last ones you've kind of already seen off and on in videos because I've been reading my way through them, but I picked up all of the Wayfarer series in paperback, and the new novella that is A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, which y'all know I just finished. Then we also have A Closed and Common Orbit, which is the second book. And then we have The Record of a Spaceborne Few, which is the third book and my favorite cover so far in the series. And then, like I said, I also have recently gotten the novella To Be Taught If Fortunate, which is not part of the Wayfarer series. It takes place in a different, separate timeline and world and all of that good jazz. Those of you who have heard me talk about my recent read of A Long Way to a Small Younger Planet will know how much I adore Chambers' work. These books are happy. They're hopeful. They are a rejoicing and a celebration of humanity while also being a gentle critique of all the things that humanity does and doesn't necessarily get right. They are soft science fiction that doesn't skimp on the science. They are joyful, they are kind, they are optimistic. They are what I want to see more of in all of my science fiction. She recently just won the Hugo for Best Series for the 3 Wayfarer books, which are these 3 right here. So if you have not picked them up yet, I highly recommend it. People who read and love Becky Chambers say that she is one of their favorite authors to go back to. Time and time again, I hear that almost every video that I mention her in. I got the chance to meet her when she was at Worldcon in Kansas City a couple of years ago, and she is just such an absolutely delightful person. And I am so thrilled to finally be able to add all of these to my collection. And yeah, that's it. Those are all of my books. It's more books than it looks like. It's 8 books, but they are mostly from just a couple of authors because I'm looking to own all of the books that I really love the most. So yeah, that is my little going into fall haul. Let me know down below things that you've recently picked up or what your favorite ways are to kind of extra practice self-care in the wintertime. Otherwise, let me know what you're up to. Leave a comment, subscribe, like, do all of the YouTube things down below in the box. Again, I am really, really, really hoping to hit 3,000 subscribers on this channel by the time I turn 31 in November. So if you are already subscribed and you have a little bit of kindness in your heart and you don't mind sharing, or if you're not subscribed and you don't mind hitting the button, I sure would appreciate it. Otherwise, until next time, friends, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and have happy reading.